You notice that both of the X-rated Osamu Tezuka movies were followed directly by, or chronologically as I watch all these movies, they're both followed directly by a movie that has the word Phantom in the title. Yeah, take a look. Take a look through my videos, you'll see what I mean. But anyway, so this is the Phantom Tollbooth. This is another movie by Chuck Jones. So yeah, he just a quick rundown. Chuck Jones did Looney Tunes shorts in like the '60s and '70s. And yeah, I think he also worked on like Tom and Jerry, and yeah, all sorts of cartoons at the time. Um, so yeah, he also did Gay Puri, which I previously reviewed. Um, but yeah, so this movie is about a kid played by Butch Patrick. So yeah, Butch Patrick is known as for playing Eddie Munster in the Munsters, and seemed he was known for having like this what do you call it? Do I call it a disorder or some kind of abnormality that that kind of kept him from aging? It's kind of this. It's kind of a similar thing that Gary Coleman had, where he was a kid, like he still looked and sounded like a kid when he was like a teenager. So yeah, I think he was actually 17 when he did this movie, or at least 16. Um, or he might have been 15. I'm not sure. Like they probably like filmed the scenes with him before. Well, either way. So yeah, he plays this kid named Milo, who's he's kind of like this moody little emo, like pre or what? Yeah, pre-emo era emo. yeah, he just hates life. He doesn't care. He's just a whiny little emo kid before emos were even a thing. Um, so yeah, he's just bored with life, and he hates school, but he also hates just not. He just hates. Yeah, he doesn't even enjoy life when he's not in school. So yeah. Um, um, so yeah, he comes home from school. He's on the phone with his friend, who's also whiny, doesn't care, all that crap. Um, and then suddenly this big present appears in his house, like a big box with candy cane wrapping paper. And he opens it, and inside it, or yeah, there's like this cool little stop motion scene where it where the box turns into the titular toll booth, and yeah, it's an interesting scene because it's like a nice way to like it's like an opportunity for Chuck Jones to incorporate his animation style into like a live action setting, or it's animated with stop motion, but yeah, even though it's not his usual 2D work at that moment, it does feel like something out of his 2D stuff. So yeah, the kid also gets this car, and yeah, some stop motion of that coming to life as well. And then he drives into the toll booth, and he turns into a cartoon character. So yeah, here's where we get the 2D Chuck Jones animation. Um, and yeah, he enters this magical world where or magical world where you know it's kind of like Oz slash Wonderland. It's like those worlds. He's yeah, and yeah, there's this he wants to go to the castle. What was it? Was it just the castle in the sky or castle in the air? Yeah, Castle in the Sky is that Miyazaki movie. Um, so yeah, Castle in the Air. So he's heading over the castle in the air, but he runs into all these crazy characters along the way. At one point, he's not paying attention, so he ends up in what's it called? Does it say the doldrums, where he's tempted to basically be a lazy bum, and the creatures there use that to like. I'm not sure if they were planning to eat him or something, but they talk him into being lazy, and then he's rescued by a dog with a watch under his fur named Talk. He's a watchdog, get it? Um, and yeah, they escape the doldrums, and then they head over to, they check out these two kingdoms where, one kingdom is ruled by words and the other is ruled by numbers, and the kings of those kingdoms are, they're constantly quarreling, and they can't agree on anything, and one thinks that words are more important and the other thinks numbers are more important, even though and they banished these two princesses named Rhyme and Reason, who told them that both words and numbers are equally important, and then Milo has to go and save them from the castle in the air, and along the way they got to fight these demons that represent these what's the word I'm looking for? Like, yeah, I guess allegories, or allegories for things that just allegories for bad stuff. These negative concepts and stuff. Let me see if I can find where, if it says what. Anyway, so yeah, that's the basic story, but along the way they like explore all these little concepts that are represented by all these allegorical thingies, these characters, and there's also a lot of unique little avant-garde animation. That seems to be a theme we're running into with this decade. I mean, I'm only a couple movies in, and probably the only movie of 1970 so far that doesn't use, unique animation style, that doesn't have like this unique art direction or anything, is the first one I watched, the Aladdin movie, but yeah, this one's got some interesting animation. It's got some interesting themes. it might be a little heavy-handed, and kind of overly complicated. It might fly over young kids' heads, even though it's mostly meant for them. Maybe slightly older kids, but yeah, it's a bit overly complicated. But otherwise, I really liked it because it just explores all these interesting little concepts, and it's something that in a way I can kind of relate to the situations, like just you know not enjoying life to its fullest, and not planning things out, not or yeah, it's about learning to overcome boredom with life, and you know taking responsibility in some areas to help you better enjoy like the more fun parts of life. It's got a very deep message, and it is an adaptation of this book, and I think the book probably explores the themes a little better. But yeah, otherwise, this movie did raise a lot of interesting concepts, and I really enjoyed all the unique little you know animations, and yeah, it's very nicely animated, and it's got yeah, and it gets creative at a lot of points. It's very imaginative. Um, and there's a couple likable characters in this. You know, uh, we got Talk the dog. We got the humbug's kind of entertaining. We have this police officer that's kind of pursuing the main hero. He's voiced by Mel Blanc. There's some various characters in this movie that are voiced by Mel Blanc, and yeah, I think he kills just about all the roles, especially the police officer. Um, and yeah, there's some other voices you might recognize in here. Let's see, June Foray voices one of the princesses, and witch, this witch character who's actually WHICH. So, you know, um, exploring the concept of the word WHICH, witch. Yeah, I don't need to go into too much detail with everything, but because if I do, my head will explode. But let's see. And then we have the two kings, who are both voiced by Hans Conried, who's appeared in a couple movies by now. He's best known as the voice of Captain Hook from the Peter Pan movie, 1953, was it? That Peter Pan movie. You know the one. But yeah, it's and I think the voice actors do an overall good job. The songs aren't super memorable, but I think they get their point across. They're pretty enjoyable. Um, and yeah, it's overall a very imaginative movie with colorful characters, unique little concepts that are explored. And yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and yeah, I think I like it a little more than Gay Paris. So yeah, it's not like fantastic or anything, but I think it's very underrated and deserves a little more recognition. And yeah, so overall, I'd highly recommend it. I mean, the themes might fly over kids' heads a bit, but you can I mean, as they grow up with it, if they're willing to grow up with it, they can learn more and more from it as the time goes on. And I mean, overall, I think this movie can be best appreciated by adults, but kids can still get a lot of enjoyment out of certain things. And yeah, I think it's a very charming little movie, and yeah, and I give it an 8 out of 10. Um, so yeah, I highly recommend this movie, and if you're interested, of course. And yeah, if there's any other, you know, any other concept to discuss, I'll put that in the comments. So yeah, I guess that will do for now. Mash it and smash it, signing off.